Hey gamers, today we're going to look at Pergamon. Let's check it out. Setup for this game is very simple. What you're going to do is shuffle this deck here, put it over the side, put your players in any turn order you want with the first player starting there, last player starting there. Separate your tickets. The compass goes on January here, and it's going to tell you how many tiles you're going to draw from this bag. Of course, looking at the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, we'll line them up in the range here. If I had a 5, I would have put it down here. Every player gets these 3 little exhibit tokens here, and then these matching tokens that they'll place on the museum track later on. They'll start with 2 coins. Gold is worth 1, silver is worth 5. And then you get this little thing here that kind of tells you how to score a collection, but is not really needed after your first game. You also have a bag for your coins as well, and optionally you have this expansion here above the 3, the 6, the 8, and the 10 space. I'll talk about that later. Now, how the game goes is very simple. Starting with the first player and then proceeding on, you will get to decide where you want to go here for funding. Now, you don't know. You're going to flip over 2 of these cards, but you don't know what the amount will be. In fact, these smaller cards can be anyone between a 1 and a 4, and these treasure chest cards, which are just shuffled in with the rest of them, can be anything within a 5, 6, 7, 8. So you don't really know what all is coming out, so you got to go by guessing here, because here it says, hey, deal 2 cards out over there. Now, the first player could go here, and that means, you see, they have Roman numerals around where you can dig. So for instance, if I was here, I'd get no money when those cards are revealed, because there's no $ over this. But I could dig through any one of these 5 excavation areas. If I was to go here, I'd get 2 money, but it could only go as far down as 4. So if there's anything at 5, I couldn't get it. Here, I'd get 3 money, but could only dig in spots 1 and 2, and so on and so forth. So you're basically having all the players decide where they want to go, who wants to go first, because you're going first from right to left. And so let's say it was set up like this. Well, then you would reveal the 2 cards. So there's a 4, and there's an 8. So that's a total of 12 points, which isn't that bad. So what you're going to do, starting with the right and going over, is paying out everyone as you can. You've got 12 coins here, so that's 1 for him. He got 2, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6. He got 3, 7, 8, 9. Now, where do these last 3 go? Well, pink is very lucky because these go to them. Whoever's on the leftmost track gets the bonus tokens. However, let's shift everyone a little bit, and let's say that was still 12, but this time you had these people here, this one there, and this one here. Well, that was 6. That's 10, 11, 12. He should have gotten 5, but he only gets 2 coins. So it's a risk reward when you're kind of playing further to the left. Because if you run out of funding, then you won't get fully funded, or sometimes no money at all. But if there's additional funding, it always goes to you. So it's just trying to, mitigate some of the luck there. Again, you can see if it's a treasure chest or a bag on top, and you may be able to mitigate it and see where you want to go. But plus, you need to watch out because you want to make sure you're in an area where you can dig, because it starts with the player behind. Whoever was last here in this row, remember from right to left, will start the dig. And so for this yellow player, it says they can only dig in spots 1 and 2. How much does it cost to dig? Well, just the Roman numeral number. So it costs 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 there. Now, the only time that would change is there are some special tokens in this game. This one gives you a bonus point on any of your collections when you make them. This one gives you a bonus point in a coin, which means, let me see, so at the 4, so instead of paying $4, you would actually have to pay $5 because that was there. Now, what if there were 2 there? Then it would actually cost $6 to get them all. You don't have to get them all. You can just get the ones you want, just leave the rest of the row. Same thing goes with any of this. If you don't, like for $2, that buys the entire row. Maybe you don't want the other row, and I'll tell you why in a minute, why you might not. But you just buy, you may have to buy the whole row, and now 3 is gone. Well, now red player can go 1 or 3, they go 3. This player can go 1 through 5, they'll go 4. Or let's say they go 1. And then pink's screwed because he can only go 1, 2, 3, and there are no tiles there. So even though he made a lot of money, he could not get that tile, and now it goes back. Starting with whoever is right here would go first, and then in that descending order would see who would go first and second the next round. But after you've collected these tiles, you can start taking these tiles and matching them up. And how you do that is you're just trying to look and see which, like these 2 vases, these match up there. And maybe later on, maybe I had a bracelet, so I put a bracelet right there. Maybe I had a mask right there. Now after a while, maybe I had a jar right there, okay? Now you can keep adding on as much as you want, But eventually you may want to make, boom, a little collection. Now once you do, you can't add anything onto it anymore, and any other tiles you have left over stay in your collection. There is a penalty for carrying more than one. You can carry 1 to 3 for free, and then for every 3 after that you have to pay 1 coin. So if I wanted to keep up to 6, I'd pay 1 coin. If I wanted to keep 7 to 9, I'd pay 2 coins, and so on and so forth. So to stop someone from like hoarding all the tiles and making some super collection, they have to be paying precious money, which is very tight in the game. And so I love that. So let's say I made this collection here. Now, starting with the first player and going down, everyone can make their collection and enter it into the museum here. So I would count the big numbers that have completed on here. So I wouldn't count this. This is a half token. It says right here, hey, look, this is how you count collections. You count those numbers that connect the 2 tiles together. So it'd be a 5, 6, 7. Now, you have the ability, now it would go, I'd take my number 1, since that's my number 1 collection, and place it here on the 7. Now, for submitting one on there, I get a victory point just for submitting something to the museum. Hurrah for me. And at the same time, here, I would say, okay, so I've got this, and this. I've got some money there. I can actually pay 1 to 3 coins to kind of bump that number up by 1 to 3 victory points. So if I want to pay these 2, instead of it being a 7, it goes up to a 9. As you see, I'm going to be gaining more victory points at the end of the round. All right, so that's kind of how that goes. And again, you cannot add to this once it's been put on there. Now, all the other players go, and as they are entering other collections on there, if it is above yours, meaning it is better than yours, then yours is going to move down. Let's say red came up with one that was a little bit higher. Well, then mine would automatically move down. And then let's say blue came out with one, but it was lower than mine. None of these would move down. However, if there was one below blue, then that one would go down as well. So that's kind of what now let's say 3 put one up and they said, I got an 11. Well, now everyone has to move down. And that's what happens when you're about to score these. And of course, as you see at the end of the round, you'll just score the victory points underneath there, giving them the tickets and moving on. After that, you move to the next round. And then you can deal out 7, 6, 5. Eventually, you'll just be dealing out all the tiles from this bag. The special occasions come when you are here, 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 and here at the end. Here, it says, hey, whoever has the oldest type of item here, this is the jars, the pitcher, the mask, the bracelet, and how you look at is everything here is located BC. And of course, the higher the BC number, the older it is. So you have to look and see who had the oldest item of that collection. And whoever did would gain 2 extra victory points. They just gained 2 tickets like this. After that, everyone's collection, even though maybe, let's say more people have been creating different ones, since the past 2 rounds, 3 more collections have gone in, everyone's kind of moving down here. Well, on top of all that, everyone's collection, because people are losing interest now, moves down 3. So 1, 2, they're out, 1, 2, 3, they're out, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you'd score it and they'd only get 1 victory point. 3 has to bust up their, blue 3 has to bust up their collection, and 1 pink, oh no, I have to bust up my collection, no one cares about it anymore. So I do. Now these cards are discarded from the game, they're not brought back in. I will say this though, starting with the second round and going forward, if you want to play with the advanced version, which you kind of want to do here, you put these little handshakes at the 3, 6, 8, and 10 spot, and anyone who is at those spots can optionally offer a trade to another player, like I'll trade you tile for tile, or they can buy a tile from a player. Now, it is expensive to buy a tile from a player, and it has to be a loose one. It can't be one that's part of their collection. But if they have one like all matched up or whatnot, that hasn't been put in a collection, you can buy it, and you can force it. You can force that sale. They can't say no to it. So it can be a little bit more vindictive here. But you're paying 3 coins for 1 item, so you better really want it, or maybe you're just trying to bust up the other person's creation. It's not that bad of an expansion here. It's not used that much more for trades than it is for the meanness of buying someone's collection, or buying someone's tile to kind of hopefully break up a potential collection they have. But it's just an optional way to play the game. But again, you're going to move down here, you're going to score the oldest vase, and then move everything 4 down the track, and then next time 5 down the track. Finally, when you get to the 12th and final year, the 12th round, you're grading the oldest bracelet. And then overall, what is the oldest artifact period? Then everyone's going to look at their existing, any select, sets that have been busted up don't count. but their existing collection. And someone can have the first and second oldest type artifact, and they would get both those points. Anyway, you gain those victory points, of course, score the museum track once more. Every 3 coins equals 1 victory point, and whoever has the most victory points at the end of the game wins. Final thoughts. What do I think about the game? You know, this game surprised me. I thought it was going to be difficult, just looking at the cover and everything, and then looking at the rules, I went, oh, this may be a little bit difficult. And I saw the moves are very easy. The game's kind of easy, but the decisions are great. Finding out that you're risking rewards on the track is a big deal. Knowing where you want to dig, when you want to dig, you think, oh, I want the oldest artifacts, right? No, you want a mix of them because you want to make the biggest collection ever. But you cannot, I love that you cannot stock a hoard on it. Because if they didn't have that, you must pay for extra tiles. You went, well, is that really that big a deal? Yes, it is. Because if you can't pay for it, you just get rid of them. There are some people not taking that many tiles because they knew if they took one more tile, they'd have to pay an extra coin. And money is tight. But if they didn't have that rule in there, the game would easily be broken. Because why wouldn't you just wait till you have tons of tiles and make this master collection? But there's great ways to, you know, like I said, I like you get to polish it up. And sometimes you need to polish up just by 1. It doesn't affect you to polish it by 2 because it's the same victory point, unless you want to be a little bit higher and not have it go down. I love the theme that after a while, when someone introduces a better looking museum pieces, everyone loses interest in yours. And then eventually throughout the months, they're going to lose great interest. So it forces you to keep putting stuff up there, and you want to put it up as fast as you can because it's not going to stay that long. I love that too. You're looking for certain artifacts, the oldest artifact, everyone's keeping their mind out for that. But at the same time, no, I'll hold off on this set because I'm about to make a bigger set with bigger victory points. I did get one set that was at the very top of the track. I had to pay extra coin for that. Worth it, because then it doesn't lose value every time someone makes one. Because after a while, when you're already low and there's 3 other players, you can lose because they may be putting together 1 or 2, and you could lose 3 spots instantly on that turn, which really sucks. But hey, that's how the game goes. I got rid of my board game Thieves from Queen Games. It was an fine artifacts, dig-in sites, showcasing museum victory point thing. It was just getting old in the tooth. But oh my goodness, this unintentionally, I found its replacement. This is a better game for museums. I really enjoy the theme. I really think it's strong. I really love this game. We've only played it 4 players right now, but I think it's great. Super tight. You're going through all the tiles in the bag too. Such a fun game. A little overpriced on Eagle Griffin Games website right now, but I do know that they're coming out with a reprint somewhere. I think it's going to be like 35 bucks. So it's definitely worth your time to get. I really love it if you like the theme as well. The little handshake one, I thought, oh, I'll never do that because we'll be stealing tiles from everyone. No one really stole tiles. We just used those spaces to offer trades. Now, some people traded, some people didn't. But, a lot going on. Like I said, easy game to learn, but big decisions to make. And I love that. And I love the theme too. Excellent game. All right, gamers, that's it for now. Until next time, game on!